We're going to call this JOC meeting to order. It is 8 o'clock. For the minutes, let's note that we started on time. We're going to start off today with the salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Proceed with roll call.
Mr. Almanowitz?
Present.
Mr. Hallowell? Ms. Janice Clemens? Here. Mr. Anderson? Here. Mr. Cormack?
Here.
Ms. Dolan? Here. Mr. Fumo? Here. Mr. Misantry?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Spear?
Here.
Mr. Reddick?
I'm here.
And we will take Did anybody want to speak? There's usually a blog, but we didn't seem to pull out today. So open comment from anybody. Okay. We had an executive session today in regards to finance and personnel issues. And at this juncture, we are going to take a brief walk next door to the cafeteria for the recognition of the Skills USA students. Please join us.
Jeez, what flavor is it? I'm guessing it's going to be a marble. That's facts.
I really don't need it, but maybe Mr. G might need it. You know, he doesn't have. I'm very passionate. When I'm passionate, my voice raises. My wife yells at me all the time. She thinks I'm yelling. I'm not yelling. I'm just passionate about what I do, and it's very exciting to recognize some of our students that are making the trip over to or down to Hershey in April 15th through 17th. I'm going to give you some quick facts. This year, we had 12 gold medalists that competed in the district's competition. We had 16 silver medalists, and we had 11 bronze medalists. We competed against 5 other schools in District 11, LCTI, the biggest school career and tech center in the state. Little Bucks County, we have the most medals out of all 5 of the schools. So that's a tribute to our students. And also our instructors. So what we're doing here at Upper Bucks, you know, they're starting to realize that when Upper Bucks shows up for competitions, we're going to win it. You know, when we have Miss Reese, you know, working with our students, she's a little bit more competitive than I am. You know, so it's a great team to have. But at this point, we're going to recognize some of the students that are here today. Mr. G.
Thank you for coming, everybody. As I announce your name, what I'd like you guys to do, pass on through Dr. Herrera, come on up, and pass on through to our JOC members as well. So, leading off, Healthcare Careers, Rucker Newman. Machining Technologies, Thane Getz. Cosmetology, Carly Cosgrove. Baking and Pastry Arts, Brendan Keller. Machining Technologies, Kiera Barnhart. Construction Technology, Peter Cerruti. Technologies, Abigail Jacobs. For interviewing, Angelica Reeder. And for mechatronics, who has a bye through Hershey, James Klein.
Mr. Moser, you want to say something? I just want to thank Mr. Moser and all of the advisors. They put a lot of work in it. They set it up. There's a lot of preparation that goes in during the activity. And we had a couple of members who attended the competition. I don't know if you want to say anything, but it's a wonderful event. It's a lot of work. And we'd like to thank the parents for all your support and trusting your children to our school. We're glad to have them.
I'd like to make one more note that our small engines program, we swept the medal podium, first, second, and third upper bucks. So that's a tribute to our small engine instructor, which is awesome. When they started calling, when I was sitting there and they're calling third place, I'm like, no way, he's better than that. Then they said second place, I said, oh, okay. Then third place, or first place, like, we did it all. So it was awesome. But again, congratulations, guys and girls. April 15th through the 17th, it's down in Hershey. If you have an opportunity, it's a great opportunity to go down and look at and see the competition that these individuals are going against other students. We had some board members that were at the district competition, and as they walked around and they saw all the competitions going on, and these guys and girls giving it their all, it's amazing. So the state level, it's a great honor to get into the state at the state level. Once we get there, we're hoping that we have a few gold medalists that we're going to go on to nationals. So again, good luck, and we'll be rooting for you. Thank you, and we're going to have some cake now.
Hey, who wants to cut the cake? Hey, Brenda. Hershey, we're going to Hershey. The sweetest place on earth. Cream chocolate all week. Awesome. Again, congratulations, guys. Hey, somebody want to
Your attention, please. I'm Mr. Gentileza, Supervisor of Career and Tech Ed here at Upper Bucks County Technical School, and it is my privilege in recognizing Brendan Keller, senior from Quakertown Community High School, as Upper Bucks County Technical School Student of the Month for February. Brendan has been enrolled in Chef Diana Penn's Bacon and Pastry Arts program here at Upper Bucks County Technical School for 4 years. Brendan has been volunteering for open house at Upper Bucks County Technical School since his freshman year and volunteered to work the freshman orientation at Quakertown High School this school year. He also volunteers at Quakertown Alive events in the Sarah Parton 24-hour soccer festival. After school, Brendan donates his time by helping at the Trumbullsville Elementary first grade up to 4 times each week. Brendan is currently working in the food service industry at LifeQuest Nursing Center and also for the Upper Bucks County Technical School food truck. He is very dedicated to the bacon and pastry arts in his future career, as you can taste by his baking of tonight's cake. Good results so far.
critics over there.
Yeah. It's just that good. So, as outlet team leader for the Rise outlet, our baking outlet here that Chef Penn hosts, and Vice President of our Morning Skills USA Council, Brendan has helped streamline the Rise Outlet procedures and menus and has helped maintain the Rise Outlet's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages. Brendan has also obtained his Serve Safe Manager certification, Serve Safe Handler certification, First Aid CPR certification, Bucks County Department of Health Food Safety Manager certification, and OSHA 10-hour culinary certifications. It's a lot of certifications. Finally, most notably, Brendan earned a gold medal at districts in the Skills USA customer service category and cannot wait to dominate at states this upcoming spring in Hershey. Brendan, on behalf of myself, the Joint Operating Committee, administrative team, and staff here at Upper Bucks County Technical School, congratulations on being selected Student of the Month for February, and best of luck in your future endeavors.
We're going to take a moment and also recognize Arjun. I should ask. Arjun? Arjun is a senior from Pennridge High School. He's enrolled in Mr. Dean's, Mr. Roosh's Machining Technologies program. He was recently completed his Eagle Scout requirement and had his Court of Honor award ceremony last weekend. We're proud of his achievement. Want to honor Arjun at tonight's JOC meeting for this incredible accomplishment, so congratulations to you. Arjun's project, or Eagle Scout project, I don't know if you know, but you need to undertake a civic responsibility and conduct a project to show your citizenship. And his project was at Last Chance Ranch in Quakertown. They, at Last Chance Ranch, can't be happier with the structure that he produced. It's impacted them greatly, and it has encouraged more adoptions. The number of adoptions at Last Chance Ranch have recently doubled since the completion of the structure, and no one could be happier. What structure did you build?
I built a pergola or a gondola.
Both.
Technically.
Technically, all right. It's a pergola. He loves to lead by example. He is his current den chief, which is a Boy Scout that decides to mentor other Cub Scouts as they join the Boy Scouts and earn their Arrow of Light award. Some interesting facts about Arjun. Arjun, I'm so sorry, I apologize. Fencing, archery, hiking. He worked at Lemke Tooling last summer. Plans to attend the Pennsylvania College of Technology next fall. He's majoring in automated manufacturing and machining with a focus on mechanical engineering. Arjun, it's our pleasure to honor you tonight, and we could not be happier for your achievements. We are truly lucky to have you as a student here at Upper Bucks County Technical School. Congratulations and the best of luck at your future endeavors. The reason they asked me to kind of present this to you is because I am also an Eagle Scout, I'm also an Arrow of Light recipient, and thank you very much for your continued citizenship. We really appreciate you.
Sure, I'll say something. So, as most of you know, that being an Eagle Scout is kind of hard. I'm just going to put this down. And so, yeah, becoming an Eagle Scout is kind of hard, but I'd say that most of the people that helped me were, well, my mom and Jesse and my dad. And so I would like to thank you once again, Mom and Jesse, for raising me to be at least an Eagle Scout. We can just put it at that. We'll just skip over the other things for now. So thank you for being a great mom and, well, having fun with me. Thank you.
Congratulations to you.
Awesome.
We're going to run with this and do our program of the month. And here too, while you're enjoying that cake, if anyone wants to go out for seconds, now's the time. Mr. Dietrich, if you would please join me on the stage. George Diedrich is the instructor of the Agricultural Technology and Life Science Academy. George hails from Sinking Spring, Pennsylvania, where although he did not have agriculture in the classroom growing up, he has fond memories spending summer on his grandparents' farm, dairy farm. George was very involved in the Berks County 4-H program, where he participated in Outdoor Adventures Club, Rabbit and Guinea Club, and shooting sports clubs. He was an active 4-H team leader, where in his senior year he was a state officer holding the positions of historian and reporter. George completed 2 degrees in agriculture education and food science while at Penn State University. During his time as an undergraduate, he was involved in the Penn State Dairy Science Club, the Teach Ag Society, Collegiate 4-H Club, and Ag Advocates. George was also a member of the Delta Theta Sigma fraternity and Alpha Tau Alpha honorary fraternity of agriculture education. George's work experiences include an internship at the Food Quality and Regulatory Assurance intern with Cargill Protein in Columbus, Nebraska, where he worked on numerous projects such as Taco Bell, Sonic, Sam's Club, Pizza Hut, and Campbell's Soup. He also spent 3 summers serving as a 4-H summer program assistant for Berks County and Clinton County 4-H. One of his responsibilities was designing animal science, food science, environmental science, and agriculture engineering day camps. That's where his passion for agriculture began. George taught at Cumberland Valley High School and was a long-term substitute at Ole Valley High School. Both of those experiences included the CASE curriculum, where he's certified in a number of different areas, such as Introduction to Ag, Food and Natural Resources, Agricultural Power and Technology, Agricultural Business Foundations, and Principles of Animal Science. George has certainly passed on his passion for agriculture, food, and those areas to his students, attending the CASE Institutes and moving his program forward. His students leave with college credits at the end of this year through Delaware Valley University, and as he attends future CASE Institutes, will also have opportunities for more credits. Jonathan Seaman, his co-curriculum program case manager at Penn State, said, "I would like to reiterate my support for UBCTS's decision to move towards agricultural technology and life sciences using CASE as a curricular framework. Mr. Diedrich is effectively using this model to move the program forward." This year, students delve deep into animal science, where they learn the principles of raising and caring for animals, both companion and livestock. Students learned how to care for and grow plants in the greenhouses, where the hydroponic lettuce, which we ate tonight, we have to thank that program. They've grown vegetables, herbs, flowers, and poinsettias. 20 students have produced over 50 wreaths that were sold to local community members for the winter holidays. Students are participating in the Trout in the Classroom program and are getting ready for the Mother's Day flower sale. This year, students attended Lampire, where they got to see firsthand the careers in biotechnology in Bucks County. The future is looking very bright for the program. In addition to working with the Culinary Arts program, he works very closely with animal technology, growing the amazing award-winning FFA chapter that we have in Bucks County. George, you wanted to say a little bit about FFA and the week that you have coming up?
Okay, so I want to start off by just thanking Dr. Eric Reed for giving me this privilege of being the program of the month. I wasn't really expecting it, so it was very nice that you did that for me. To talk a little bit about National FFA Week. Next week is Pennsylvania's FFA Week, and so all week long we are celebrating FFA and everything that it means to be part of the FFA program, and we're encouraging both everyone in the entire tech school, but also everybody else in the community, and also as members of the JOC to be participating as well. Throughout the entirety of the FFA Week, we do different themes for each day, and it's kind of like you dress up based upon that theme. So on Monday, we're doing what the kids call the America Monday. So we're encouraging everyone to wear red, white, and blue on Monday. On Tuesday, we are doing a truck / vehicle / tractor equipment support theme, where if you can dress up wearing your favorite brands of trucks or vehicles, or your favorite colors that might be associated with those pieces of equipment. We'll be having that on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I believe it is Woodsman's and Woods Ladies Wednesday, where we're dressing up wearing flannels. On Thursday is supposed to be, I believe the kids are calling it Real Tree Thursday, so Real Tree camo, so the kids will dress up wearing camo on Thursday. Then Friday is the famous blue and gold, and we're going to be all dressing up in blue and gold, and that'll be when our first year students receive their green hand degree certificates during class time as well. Another big highlight that we have that we're excited to announce is on Tuesday, we are having some members of the Pennsylvania State FFA officer team actually come and actually tour and actually participate for that day with our students and celebrating nationally the Pennsylvania FFA week. And so we really encourage your members as the JOC and also fellow members of the community to show your support with the FFA and participate as much as you can.
So rounds of applause for Mr. Dietrich. Anyone to go up for thirds? If we're not, we're going to head back in to the JOC.
Thank you, everybody.
Jeff, if you want to pick up with the director's report, maybe on number 1, just at the donation report, and kind of pick up there. You can skip the various portions that we did in the other room.
Thank you. This month we have a donation of 2 3.7-liter 4-valve Mustang engines, Ford Automotive Career Exploration Program. Was donated to our automotive technology program. We're also working on Ford with coming up with a vehicle for us. The paperwork wasn't in, so we'll be talking about that next month. I'd also like to take an opportunity to have a moment of silence. We had a OEC member, longtime OEC member from our automotive technology program, Mr. Kirk Madison, who passed a few weeks ago. I'd like to take this opportunity just to have a brief moment of silence. Thank you very much. He's very instrumental in our Occupational Advisory Committee. For the people in the audience that don't understand what Occupational Advisory Committee is, we have members from the community, business and leaders. They come in twice a year. They look at our programs, they evaluate our programs, they recommend tools, equipment to our programs, they look at our curriculum, and they bring in new ideas for instructors to make sure that we are all up to date on the new technologies that are out there in the business and industry. So he's very instrumental in our automotive program. I'd also like to say that we had our nursery school visit. We have students, they come in every year, they come through school. These little guys, it's amazing. They're running around, they go in, they went into the law enforcement program. He had obstacle courses set up for them. They're petting our police dog that we have in there, and it was pretty amazing. They go in and out of the programs, and they just have a great opportunity to see what career tech really is firsthand. And then this afternoon, we had the state rep, Mr. Stats, signing legislation, Act 76, that represents the CTE bill and proclamation. We had a ceremony this afternoon, and that's going to educate and help our CTE programs flourish and move into the career or the not junior college, but the Upper Bucks County community colleges and state universities. So it's been he explained this afternoon that it was a 4-year exploration, and he's like I am, it just takes too long, and we like to rush things, but we finally passed it through, and it was I think 140 pages of the proclamation that he showed us. So, you know, it was a great showing, and we have, you know, our state representatives coming in and out of the building on a regular basis now. So that was, you know, it was an awesome opportunity to have someone come in from the outside and talk to our students. We had a commissioner came in yesterday and walked around, toured the building, and went in and was actually speaking with our students. And it was a great opportunity for our students to listen to the commissioner come in and give his explanation and his thoughts on career and tech education. So, great opportunity. That's all I have for you. So.
Thank you very much. And we already took care of the Honorable Student of the Month. Moving on to C. Tree?
Well, I just walked. Right here. Yeah, I'm very
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to present the 2021 Upper Bucks County Technical Schools budget at this point. So we all know that our Upper Bucks County participating schools are Palisades, Pennridge, Quakertown, Dr. Bridget O'Connell, Superintendent of Palisades, Dr. Bolton at Pennridge, and Dr. Harner at Quakertown. And our, of course, our joint operating committee, we cannot do what we can't do what we need to have done without your support. It's very important that, you know, we have the JOC support, and we have Mr. Fumo, Mr. Hallowell, Mr. Mansantry, and Mr. James Lott, sorry sir, from Palisades, and Pennridge. We have Ms. Clemens, Mr. Cormack, Ms. Dolan, and Mr. Reese from Pennridge, and Mr. Anderson, Mr. Akwanowicz, Mr. Spear, and Mr. Kern from Quakertown.
You got Akwanowicz right, but you screw my name.
I guess I'll have to practice screaming my name.
So some of our goals for 2021, to increase our educational opportunities for our students in our community by continuing to implement and expand innovative programs at the Upper Bucks County Technical School. You know, we have our summer STEM program. We're at another summer school this year. We're going to, you know, ride on the coattails of last year. Very successful. We had over 90 participants. We're looking probably going to get up in the 100% range, 110, 120. I've been talking to my facilitators that help us out, and they're like, you know, 200 to the limit, or I'm not coming back. You know, so it's getting out there. Our CTE camps, our food truck experiences, and paid internships. We want to provide cost-effective instructional programs that lead to recognized certifications, post-secondary education, and high-wage careers. That's our purpose here. And we want to bolster school governance by establishing a transparent, trusting, and collaborative relationship with all essential groups, and provide a competency-based and individualized curriculum based on the value of occupational analysis. So we have a budget timeline. By law, we have to have or present our budget according to our attorney, but we have, you know, presenting tonight, and then we have a presentation that we are going to present to the Quakertown Finance Committee, February 26th, March 3rd, bless you. March 3rd will be presenting at Pennridge, March 16th will be presenting at Palisades. And then between March and April, we recommend the recommended proposal budget will be emailed to the sending districts, and the school boards act on the recommended budget. And then, of course, May and June, it's approved. So our 2021 budget right now, our general fund, Teresa has been working tirelessly, you know, trying to organize our budget, our finances. We are putting the funds in the correct formula, or what do you call those? Account codes. So our general fund, which is a Fund 10, 11,151,400.
519. Our capital projects fund is a Fund 30, our $800,000 capital fund. That $800,000 capital fund would be the construction of the ag building. And then the food service fund 51 of $262,069. This is our setting, yes sir.
That 262 for the food service fund, we make that back, right, by way of charging for lunches, or no?
Yeah, I mean, with your subsidy payments. So they do run, and we'll see when we get down to it, they do run at a slight loss with depreciation and other things taken out.
Like $50,000 in loss, or like 5,000? Just curious before you continue.
I think it's like 26,000.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so then our sending district, the calculation of operating the revenue. The sending district's revenue for 1920 was $6,728,000. So the formula would be take the revenue from 1920 plus the loss from our fund balance, which was $686,000. And you add the Act 1 index, and we come up with a sending district contribution for the 2021 will be $7,608,373.
So we're actually getting a loss right now in, we're not breaking even on food service?
Most schools don't.
Because we break even on food service. Because that's usually.
26,000
So-
is too bad.
Now, before Quakertown stopped sending their kids for lunch, what were our numbers like?
Quakertown kids don't eat lunch here. Quakertown kids don't eat lunch.
I know, but
I honestly
Was
don't, I
it,
can get back to you on that,
like,
I really,
was it as much of a loss when all three sending schools were here eating lunch?
I really don't know.
I didn't know if that made the big difference.
Because there's more kids,
Statistically, it would be higher.
Or is there more ways because there's less kids?
No, I think this loss is in regards to food costs, not labor or anything, so.
well, that's it, okay, so if you go.
So again, I can look at the last sheet, because he told me that's what this is all about.
Yeah.
I can say that historically, food services in all our districts, even here, have been running in the negative for quite a while.
See, ours has always been positive. No, we do a lot of that.
We can't seem to make ours positive.
Yeah, we have trouble with keeping it positive for you, Quakertown.
Was ours positive this year?
Yeah.
Once again?
No. We had like meetings about that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, that, yeah.
Okay, any other questions on that?
No.
Okay, so we'll continue with the general fund membership district contribution calculation. It all goes by the ADM, and it's a 5-year ADM, which is the total amount of students coming to the school. So if you look at 1920, the Palisades at 84, participants, Pennridge at 333, and Quakertown at 326. There's a very, very heated competition between the superintendents of Pennridge and Quakertown. I can say that, I'm in the meetings and they're going at each other because they want to be the top dog. So in 1920, Pennridge beat them out by a couple of students. Guarantee that Quakertown is going to, fight back. So, which is a good thing. You want to explain it?
So basically, the 5-year average, when we were looking at, that's how the calculation of the percent comes out for the amount for the sending districts was $7 million, 76. So it's based on 12.8 would be for, 12.4 would be for Palisades, Pennridge is 39.82, and Quakertown is 47.7. That slide will show you the breakout for each, and the increase and decrease from the current year's budget to next year's budget. So that's all ADM driven.
I did have one quick question on that, please. If Quakertown had less students, why do they have more ADM?
So
It's 5-year average,
It's a
that's
5-year
why.
average.
So Pennridge is looking at a 20% beef up in what they're funding for next year. Palisades is looking at almost 11% more, and Quakertown is looking at almost 9% more of what we funded last year, if I interpret this correctly.
Yes.
And how do you explain a significant increase this year?
For each.
Just overall.
Overall? Well, so part of the year end, so part of the deficit is in there from last year, so you have that $868,000 deficit that you're covering from last year, because that's part of the formula. So that is kind of all thrown in. You gotta go back.
Does this all include the 800,000 for?
The 800,000 is in Fund 30, which is your capital account, so that's not in this piece at all, and that runs through a different formula then, because that's based on your step calculations.
Which is one of the highest.
So, and that's why it'll be in there too, yes. And that's according to your articles of agreement, how that formula all comes out. So, this is basically how the breakdown percentages broken out between your salaries, your benefits, your professional, property, supplies, and that's kind of all done by the account codes, your object codes, according to EDA. So then this is kind of, again, broken out with the account codes, and it's showing you the difference between your 1920 budget and your 2021 budget. So you'll see differences in your salaries, and so I just kind of have to start off, some of the account codes have changed between your object codes, so you'll see a lot of differences in those, and the biggest one would be like in your salaries, because the business office now is not being funded for your 100 lines, it's going to your 300 lines, because the contract with Garza County IU, you'll see a big increase down where it's under the purchase professional. So it's kind of hard this year to kind of compare one year to another with that kind of big change in there. But in the salaries, that's also increasing for 2 additional instructional assistants in there. And then there's also like an increase in the legal line for having legal services at your meetings every month. And recording the professional development to the proper account codes, because we changed that account code too, so that has to be changed in there. Questions on that stuff?
I mean, there's just so many things in here that are like, and I'm sure it has something to do with the codes that you pointed
It
out.
has codes and reclassing.
Supplies and phone advertising postage, that's a 30% increase. You know. Now, of course, I don't expect you to know every single thing, it's just, it obviously draws my eye to it.
I mean, some of it too is, we put in for additional money for marketing, for, getting students for marketing, for the text. I mean, they were the big thing that kind of stuck out for me on this slide.
And then you said there were things where they were in an old category and moving to a new category, so that's making some areas look more inflated than others, just because it's been moved, not because it's something additional, right? Like the 7 from the 700% number.
Right. So that's like the Bucks County IU contract then. So that, those wages were then taken out of your salaries and your benefit line, your users line, and then put down into that area.
You're gonna be going out to descending districts and having these meetings with our various business managers.
So we met with the business manager, and then we've gone to the finance committee.
We met with the business managers for 2 meetings, and hammered it all out between the 4 business managers, and they're happy with what we have presented, and then they took it back to the superintendents. So that's why we're confident and they're confident in our budget. We all knew that there was gonna be, an increase, after last year when we took away that gentleman's handshake, and we actually are following the articles of agreement now. That's the big factor right now. And then until we get a full year line on all of the line items, they're thinking it's gonna level out as well. So, it's,
So hopefully it won't be as painful next year?
well, I'm hoping not. That's what we're hoping for.
This budget is based on 700 of fund balance to balance.
700 of our general fund balance to balance the budget, yes.
And you have 8,600,000 in revenue and your expenditures are 11 million.
So we also, so that was the sending district piece. So as we get in there further, you'll see there's also $1.5 million that's going to be your subsidy money, that's reimbursements for your social security, half reimbursement for PESers. So there's Perkins money coming in, matching grant money coming in. So the expenditures are going to be under your equipment line for some of that, but then also your revenue is going to increase on the other side. Yeah, it's in there.
It's in there.
You guys.
You're jumping all over, we're trying to show it ahead.
Yeah, lots of pages back there.
You know
It's
where
not
our
listed. She says there's stuff.
Come on, Teresa.
So then the next part is the debt contribution. So that's based on the articles of agreement, your STEB and your market value. So then that kind of breaks out the next piece. Palisades does not have any debt for 2021, and then Pennridge and Quaker Township is broken out for the STEB values.
So everybody knows, we paid for this stuff up front, we didn't pick up on it. That's why we don't have any debt service now. I get any special treatment.
Okay.
Why did you include the current debt service for the 2 of the 3 schools in
Because
this?
that actually is built into your $11.1 million.
It is?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
And then that's the breakout of the debt service then. And then this is kind of how it all kind of together. So then it's your proposed operating budget plus your debt service equals your 11.1 million. Then it's any district contribution, less the debt service, less the projection, and then it's basically showing that there's a $727,000 that we'll have to use from fund balance.
And you said there was 800,000 carried over from last year?
So if you look at, what in fund balance?
No, I thought you were saying that part of the reason it went up was because we had a,
So that'll be on the next slide.
okay, so, but can you highlight the 700,000 in fund balance, where that comes from? You talked.
So, well, that's basically because if you take all your expenditures and you subtract out your revenue, then that's basically what we need to cover with fund balance.
Right, but are you, I guess what I'm asking is, are you expecting to actually use 700,000 in fund balance, or are you being generous because you don't want to?
Use all $700,000 in the budget we had in there built in for the wireless project for the technology. We have in there replacing servers. So if we get money back from E-grants, if that's approved, then that, of course, will not be spent, and then that won't be as much used in fund balance.
Right, and last year, we projected a $1.4 million projected use of our fund balance, and we used $686,000.
And we're still waiting for the insurance prices to come in, so I have budgeted at what I think it's going to, cost me hope that it comes in less. So there'll be, as it gets closer to the end of the year and we get those rates and everything, and we'll be able to obviously not use fund balance for that.
What percentage did you add the insurance rates?
At 10%. So last year it was 8, and I think 15 on the medical. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, it was 15 on the prescription.
Prescription.
Yeah.
I knew.
Okay. fund balance. So, the fund balance, some of it was set aside as being assigned, and some of it was unassigned for last year. So this is kind of both your assigned and your unassigned. But your total fund balance last year, at June 30th, was the $2.7 million. We have a proposed use to balance the 1920 budget of the 705. And then we had to refund 2 of the sending schools, the $161,000. So, and then to balance this proposed budget, it'll be the $727,000. So that'll leave you a $1.1 million projected for the year end of June 30th of 2021.
And how does that compare to the suggested amount of fund balance we should have?
Okay, so under, I don't think you can really do that under there. So the articles of agreement say you can have up to 8%, which will be that $752,000, I think it is there. And that was based on your 18-19 expenditures.
I mean, we could never survive with 8% in the bank.
No.
Like, it just wouldn't happen.
Well, you gotta realize that this is the unassigned.
And
So,
assigned.
There-
It's both.
Oh, it is?
It's both. It's
The
both.
1.1 million is both, yes. That's what
But not
the capital has maybe $88,000 in it.
And the state regulation is unassigned is not more than.
It's not a reg, it's just a recommendation.
No, but they,
And I think we're tech centers, we don't fall under that recommendation.
I don't know. I mean, I'm perfectly comfortable having $2 million in the bank. When you're telling me we need to have $800,000 in the bank for $1 million, that's not enough, because from year to year, any given year, we need $1 million from the fund balance to make up the difference. And if it's not there, then. we're in the red.
That number's about
that's why we have
10%
funding
right
issues
there.
for the last few years.
It's pretty, 10.2%.
I was just trying to make my point to Megan's point of the 8% thing, because it's not the first time she's insinuated that we should have less money in the bank.
Oh,
I think
no.
that's what you were saying.
Oh, no, that's not what I was saying at all. I was actually asking because the number looked low, and I thought that that the recommendation was to be higher than that, so I was surprised to see it was lower, actually. So I asked for the opposite reason.
Gotcha.
If you wanna send more money over there, they'll take it.
I will send my 40, what percentage am I at? My 44%? So you want to send in your, I'll send in whatever percentage we need to send.
Well, that's a question that's come up before, where do you want to use fund balance? In this case, it's the 705,000.
So
Well, 727,000, 705,000 for this
I'm
current
not,
year.
I am not a fan of operating with a structural deficit. I would prefer that we balance the budget. And if that means that we send more from our sending schools, then we send more from our sending schools. But all you're doing is passing the problem to next year. That being said, I also know that you are working with numbers that are difficult to gather, right? They're in all different places, and so you have to be much more generous in the numbers you're using this year until you can get a sense for where our numbers actually are, because our records were so difficult to
Yes, and you
put
also
into
have,
this.
2 contracts that are working on being negotiated right now, and
So I guess my point is, if I knew how much of that we were going to use, I'd say, let's balance the budget, let's pay it. The opposite situation could be we balance the budget, but then all of these areas where we're kind of inflating things a little bit just to be safe, we end up with more money than we should have had for next year.
so, I mean, so,
Right.
there's some areas that, I have concern about, so I have to kind of budget, I'm thinking to bring everything back. So for your 18-19 budget, you had $135,000 budgeted for electric. Your actual came in at $141. The budget for this year was budgeted at $118. So right there, that's a shortage. Your oil and your, was budgeted last year at $85,000. Year to date, last year, the actual came in at $114,000. and this year she had budgeted 60,000. So.
But like,
Committed like five.
but for example, for the grant, which we should get, because you just have to do everything right, and we did, so that's $50,000 right there, right?
Half of that 25 is what we're hoping to get, but then if we don't, where are we gonna get the 25 to do?
Right, I'm not saying, I'm saying you did exactly what you needed to do. All I'm saying is, that's what makes it difficult for me to say, how much should, if we want a truly balanced budget, but not to overpay, where does that number fall, just because you were kind of given difficult numbers to try to work with?
So I guess, like, what you guys are contributing is the amount that you're gonna contribute, and really, it's gonna be our job to try to keep that 700,000 not coming out of our bank account.
Mhm.
So that's, like, these are still contributing, you know, a portion of that, and we have to be good stewards to make sure that we try not to hit that amount. But if we do, it's been budgeted for. Because if not, then once we send that out to PDE, then we would have to reopen the budget to spend more than what was there. So,
There is a little bit of an incentive to try and figure that number out built into this formula, because since you carry it over to the next year, you carry it over before the Act 1 index is applied. So then that carryover amount is actually paying more back in, because you have to apply next year's Act 1 index to that year.
Interesting.
No, I didn't follow you. Can you repeat what you just said?
So you had a loss from last year, which you're making up this year.
Right.
But you're not just making up that loss, you're making up that loss plus the Act 1 index applied to that loss.
Why?
Because that's how your formula is written.
Because you're paying it next year, so.
Your formula puts those two numbers together, your expected expenditures and that rollover before upon, that's just how it's written. Which may be an
It's still,
incentive to
but
try
it's
and.
still going to, it's still going into the same
Oh, yeah,
pot.
absolutely.
It's, you know.
Yeah, we had a couple line items where, you know, I write grants for the Perkins, and there's a $50,000 matching grant. Well, that wasn't budgeted in this year's budget. I wrote the grant anyway, and got a piece of equipment for, you know, $39,000, so we had to come up with $18,000. That wasn't in the budget. You know, so those are the types of things that we're uncovering now, that, you know, we're trying to make sure that next year, we budget at $50,000, because they know that we have that $50,000, I'm gonna get $50,000 from the Department of Ed. So in essence, I'm gonna be able to buy $100,000 worth of equipment, with our $50,000. So, you know, I wanna make sure I, you know, take full advantage of all those grant opportunities that are out there, and you know, supply our instructors with the materials that they need in their programs. So that was, you know, that was really disheartening when I saw that, because, you know, I also wrote another grant out for, you know, our equipment grant. I put over $100,000 worth of equipment grant money in there, you know, that our instructors have had on their OAC minutes, and gave to me. I put every piece of equipment that they submitted to me in that grant. So now we stand back, I cross my fingers and see what they're gonna accept. You know, so then, that's how it's working with the Perkins, you know, the Perkins funding, Perkins 5. You know, so I wanna make sure that I, you know, take full advantage of every opportunity that I can with the government giving us funding to run our programs.
When I've been on the board of the GSC for a while, and when I first came on, the high school did not have a fund balance, and wasn't allowed to have a fund balance, so everything they wanted to do here had to come directly from the sending schools. If something happened, that new money had to come in, that had to come from the sending schools. When we started to let the fund balance accrue over here, it was a good thing, but we've been since depleting that. I mean, there was a time when it was $5 million, not that long ago. But we're using $700,000, $800,000, $500,000 out of it a year. I mean, it's gonna go away, and we're eventually gonna have to pay that now. So that being said, do the sending districts have enough support to send more than the index value over here, so they don't have to use as much fund balance?
I think they have to, this upcoming year is basically the way these numbers are falling, right?
I mean, we don't have to come up with a full 700, I don't think. But we could send a little more. I mean,
So, I'm kind of
that's
confused.
something we haven't ever talked about.
Like, what does 3% compared to 2%?
All the schools with their big fund balances, hoarding money.
And honestly, I mean, I appreciate that, but I don't know if it's better to kind of let the year float out, see where we are. Yeah, and, you know, I don't want to be asking for more than, you know, and I appreciate that, because next year I don't want you to say, we're cutting you, and you could have gave it to us, so.
But we also got to ask for a building.
And right, and there's also an issue of a renovation that, you know, needs to be addressed.
So, I agree with what you're saying, but timing-wise, to your point, I don't know if it makes more sense just to wait until we have the consistency with the numbers. Because from my standpoint, I can say from my discussions with the Pennridge board members, I feel like there's support to pay whatever our fair share is going to be, and if that means we have an increase, we have an increase, as long as we're making sure that we're doing it in the most cost-effective way. And so, if that means next year we've got to kick in more money because we're making up for this structural deficit if it continues, I don't see any issues with us doing it this year, next year, whatever, but you're in a position where the numbers are not as predictable right now, and next year and the following year, they'll be more predictable. So I feel like then we could adjust it and make sure we get to where we need to be. But I say that while I don't like it. So I, you know, instinctively I want to just pay the extra money and not do the structural deficit. But it's tough because I'm skeptical about how much we need it, and so.
I think with the knowledge of our boards knowing walking into next year that we are kind of having a rectification year or two, I think is very important into the way next year and the year after will go.
The finance committee is going to look at the issue too, that has to be pursued this issue.
Okay.
So then the next one becomes the capital projects. And that is the proposed ag building renovation with the estimated cost of $800,000. And that is all based on the step calculation. So, you know, funding comes from the sending districts, and we talked to the auditors between the sending districts and our auditor, and they were okay if the money was directly deposited right from your capital funds into our capital fund. So that way it doesn't go through the Fund 10, there's, you know, it just goes right into the capital. And then that would be based on the actual cost of the project. There's been some talk that obviously if there's extra money for 1920, then some of that money could also be transferred from tech school's budget into the capital fund and reduce the amount of the $800,000 that the sending districts would kick in, and then those percentages, well, the percentages would change with the dollar number. Or the dollar number. Yes, thank you. The percentages stay, dollar number.
But we wouldn't know until the project's complete.
Or bid out, right?
Well, usually even when you bid it out, there's contingency. So,
That being said, can you get it done this summer?
well, our teacher needs it for his third-year program.
Yeah.
So he's kind of reliant on us to make sure it's done this upcoming year. Do I get that right?
Yeah, when I was speaking with the architect, the project would probably run into August. What our architect, Bill, said it would run into August, sometime in August if we went on, we moved forward. You know, a week or two into the August, which would be right into our start of our school, but they would work around, you know, and we're just hoping that, he's hoping that it would be the finishing touches. You know, all the major construction will go on throughout the summer months.
Maybe
So when will they
schedule the
be starting?
facade last.
Pardon?
Maybe schedule the facade, the outside.
Oh, yeah,
part
for last.
When are they starting? Are they starting right after the year ends?
Well, there's,
On your agenda tonight is the motion to authorize the architect to bid that. So I don't know if they've done that. You're actually, you're slightly ahead of the timeline right now, but I don't think the architect actually has a bid date yet.
Well, it seemed like he had an end date, so I thought he had a start date when he was predicting his end date. But-
Yeah, the start date was the last day of school.
And so he's thinking,
It's the first day of school.
Well,
Pretty much.
it's gonna go in, it's gonna float into the,
so he doesn't, so what he's saying is he doesn't think the summer is enough time to do it.
He's leaving himself some wiggle room.
he's giving himself some room because of,
But if he can't start until school ends, I mean, we're literally giving him 2 months to do a $800,000 project, which is a fairly substantial project, because they're actually moving walls,
yeah.
adjusting.
They're not changing the structure too much.
No, they're
Just
in
interior
turn.
walls.
Interior walls.
Interior walls, but some of them are load-bearing walls,
Yeah. Right.
Some are.
yeah.
And I
There's tools in the
so
car.
things can go wrong, too. Which,
So
Is
that
there-
being said, we're agreed that the 800,000, we're agreed that the zoning district, we're gonna pay it. And we put it out for bid before the zoning district approved this budget.
Oh, sure, because you don't, you're not obliged, you're not contractually obliged until you award it. So starting the bid process, going through, receiving the bids, that's fine. You always have the option of rejecting the bids. Hopefully by then the financing process.
Okay, so let's say the bids come in a month. Next JSE meeting, we would approve the bid. Yes.
Well, that
we
seems
would
efficient.
approve the budget first, right? Or do you want to approve?
I'm getting
Oh,
that.
no, because it's separate.
So if we approve, we want to approve the bids in March, April?
No, according to the schedule they put together, they will go out to bid in April.
They haven't done the specs yet.
And the bids would come back on May. So
So
you
we
have
could
more
have-
clarity on the budget.
Isn't that a little late for bids and construction projects to go out? Shouldn't they be going out now?
Well, he has to finish the final construction documents before they can put it out to bid.
And that's what we're
I
going to
thought they
approve
were-
tonight.
I thought they were already
Move
done.
ahead with the construction
We
document.
already did get it. This
Okay.
project was already approved.
I'm confused, I don't know how they've already done that. I thought they were already done.
Not all the documents, the architectural documents are done, they have to come in and do another inspection, he wants to come in next week and do another inspection, and spend a couple hours to start putting all the pertinent information together. He sent us a drawing, the only difference in the drawing from last year to this year would be instead of one clean room, there'll be 2 clean rooms. You know, so both programs can, instead of waiting in line to get into that one, there'll be 2 clean rooms.
So the specs were done for the old proposal, he's coming in to adapt the specs to the new proposal?
The drawings were done, the specs involve like classification of material units and all that stuff. And I
Right.
doubt he did that at the old drawing either. So that's what
I
he's.
know, but it was approved before, and then it just didn't get done, so I'm approved before then they.
The drawings were approved, yeah,
I'm not sure the specs.
The specs were never approved.
Because that's the, working out the bid, which is on tonight.
because last year when it was approved, it was
We just approved the money, we didn't do all the work.
correct.
Right.
We didn't do it, we didn't move forward with anything else because then it
Balls
was,
got dropped.
it was way too late.
Yeah, it was good for that.
At that point, the schedule that he has pointed out, you know, we were at the end of June when we wanted to move forward, and there was no way that he'd be able to get all of that together by the end of the year. You know, so, you know, the funding was, on paper, the funding was there, but it wasn't moved, so it's kind of like a blessing.
Is that why we came in like $700,000 under budget? Seriously?
No, because that was actually, should have been transferred into your capital.
Oh, from the sending districts?
No, that they.
Because we approved it
Yeah,
in the budget.
yes, but there was never really the cash there to move. So,
But that means we would have approved the budget with the 1.5 going into the fund balance, but we only used 700,000 of it.
but that was budgeted as like using like a loss, so you really can't move the money, and you can't really.
I'm saying that's why we didn't spend that money, is basically my sentiment.
No.
If we haven't done the specs yet, what's preventing us from using someone else and bidding it out as a visa project and saving us a lot of money?
Well, I went with, we're going with the same architect that did the original.
Right, but they go through the traditional bid process, and if you go through a Giza project, then you save a substantial amount of money, and also.
And you eliminate the bid process.
And it also moves up your timeline.
What's a Giza?
It's a guaranteed energy savings program. There's certain firms that have, and that we recently switched to Reynolds Engineering, and one of the things that is a huge benefit to them is because they have a sub-company under their engineering company, they're actually able to bid out Giza projects, which most other engineering firms aren't able to do. And because they can bid it out that way, they save a lot of money, because most engineering firms can't bid it out and then be the construction manager of it. I mean, I could have someone send us the information and writing for us, and you can see.
That's the whole project, then.
Well, I don't know, because then you don't have to go through the same process. It's a lot faster and it's a lot more cost effective, because you save a lot of money going through this path without having to, because essentially what you're doing is you're cutting out the middleman, which costs you a lot of money. You're paying someone to do all of the specs, and then you're paying that person to bid it out, and then the new person who's gonna take the job is gonna have to redo all the work the other person did, because you're not gonna go by someone else's measurements. So then you're paying two people to do the same job, which is why going through this method saves you a lot of money, because you're cutting out the middleman in that middle part of the process. And you also don't have to go through the same bid process, so you don't have the delay in the timeline that we would have going through the traditional bid process.
So the firm that would be the construction manager is the one that's going to do the bid up? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
That doesn't.
And they can do that through a Giza project, and then because they're doing it through a Giza project, there's energy savings, so you can save a lot of money doing it. We're saving a lot of money by going through Giza for our projects instead of doing the traditional bid process.
This program uses industry reimbursements and discounts and maybe energy incentives that are given by the government, and they include all that in their building project? Is that sort of?
And they still bid out the work, but they're managing the work.
Is Reynolds, the Sam Reynolds, and who would be here?
We had conversations.
Yes, that's what I'm wondering.
What's that?
I was not impressed with that.
So it was so Reynolds has different companies under them, okay, and that one was different, and also we looked into that situation, and that is not where the fault was in that situation you're talking about.
So, to qualify, in Giza's, it's a state statute, so that's also what something savings. And it's what allows you to skip some of the traditional bids. State bids, it's authorized. Right, it includes the state bid, anything, but it has to qualify, which not all renovations will. And it has to be designed to qualify.
But most of them you can get to qualify.
At this point, though, we're not gonna do the project this summer.
Well, to Katie's point, we're really behind the eight ball, because you're saying
Bid should have went out
the
this
bid should have
month.
went out October and November is ideal. That's what the recommendation usually is to get your bids out
At the
there.
latest, I thought our bids usually had advertised for February.
Depends on the side. And the other thing, just to remember, and I'm, whatever you want to do, but even if you decided, I doubt you could do the Giza project for this summer. Meanwhile, last month you approved the contract with the architect, so at a minimum, you're still going to be paying the architect for the design work they've done up to this point.
What kind of a savings are we looking at on an $800,000 project?
And it's not a full-blown renovation, it's just.
Right, they're just actually redoing walls inside the building, it's not actually redoing any part of the energy.
They're not redoing.
Well, but I'm sure it's more energy efficient than the old walls.
It might qualify.
Would that
Especially if
disqualify from any PlanCon grants too, that the school may get for?
We don't know what
That'll be,
PlanCon looks
that's
like.
up to the architect.
But I mean, that building hasn't been touched, that building wasn't touched in our last renovation.
They put floor down, and they did some.
Moved the wall.
They did some air conditioning stuff and they put a roof on it. But as far as the basic internal stuff, interior.
It's not a very insulated looking building.
No, it's not, and it's not, we're not doing anything on the outer, we're not doing anything structurally, we're not ripping anything down except for the interior walls. So there's no energy efficiency on the interior of the house anyway, so the block walls, we're taking those block walls down and creating an more open space that would be safer for our students, because right now what we have in there are 2 locker rooms where, students can go in and hide. Our instructors aren't gonna be able to see who's in there, so we're gonna emulate the same type of plan that we have in all of our programs here, which are, individual locker rooms.
I know you weren't here, but the locker rooms were open before, so why they changed it?
Pardon?
The locker rooms were all open before, so now they put walls up, now you wanna take those walls down?
Yeah, we want to have individual changing rooms because we're getting a lot of non-trad students coming into both programs. We have females going into our welding program. It's going to be, if you look in our existing building and you look inside, you walk down the hall and you look inside one of our programs, we have changing rooms, and then you have 3 changing rooms. And then you have an ADA changing room. So when the students come in, they go in, they close the door, they change, they come out, they put their stuff in the locker, it's all open. The student has better vision, or the instructor has a better vision watching the student go into that changing room, that opens the door, closes the door, than 5 or 6 or 10 kids running into a big room, and then we don't know what's going on in there.
Aren't we discussing budget?
So,
And then later on, we're going to talk about this motion that's going to be made to go with the architect?
with respect.
Isn't that what we're doing?
Yes.
Okay, so let's continue.
With respect to Megan's request, maybe you could at least give this board some peace of mind that you'll research to see if maybe it applies to some degree. If it doesn't, we'll know pretty quickly.
If what applies?
This using grant.
I
don't want to immediately write it off.
I think that we should learn about the visa.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm proposing.
However, I don't think that we should delay this project and then to learn, I'm not going to.
I agree with you.
A visa that is going to take 6 months from now.
My guess is we're gonna find out that we're not gonna qualify for that grant anyway, and I'm proposing
Well-
that we continue on with our current
Yes,
course.
so let's
So I'm
continue
just,
on our track.
didn't we already, why are we voting on it a second time?
We're not voting.
No, you voted to approve the architect last month. This month, there's a motion on basically to approve the preparation of putting out bids. That's it, not the professional design stuff, but the actual contract bids.
But that's not under your budget presentation. That's
Well,
the-
it is only to the extent the $800,000 capital account. That's how it goes.
You were doing
I'm
so
sorry I
well.
brought this up, but my question and concern is that the school boards, and individual school boards are scheduled to act on the recommended budget in April or May. I think that's too late. If we can get our boards to approve this in March or early April, can we do that? Does it make a difference?
I think that would be ideal. Are you asking me?
I'm asking the solicitor.
No, the only hard deadline for the text school is June 30th. That's the only hard deadline for the vote.
Yeah.
So the rest of it you can do the way you want. This is theoretically what you would consider a preliminary budget to proceed.
Yes.
So talking about approving it in March means whatever tweaks you're gonna make are getting done in the next few weeks. Yes, it's possible, but it's really up to admin whether they think that's feasible.
But it also already has on the timeline, school boards act on recommended budgets April or May.
No, right.
So Jim, what you're saying is we probably should act on them in April, not May.
Correct. I mean,
Okay.
So
Well,
can I
that sounds like a
throw another
plan.
wrinkle into this, because
Oh, please,
we
please.
didn't get there yet, but I'm not in favor of voting on this tonight because we're just seeing it tonight. So I would prefer, it hasn't been posted publicly until now, and I don't think that we should be getting and I know that there were all kinds of situations, but I'm not in favor of doing a full budget proposal and voting on the budget proposal in the same night. That's why we had this conversation last month and the month before and the month before that about how it helps to have a committee meeting where you see all of the stuff a month earlier, and then the following month you have time after the presentation to go through and then vote on it. Now, that being said, there's no rule that says that she can't still present it to our finance committees in the meantime, and we can update our boards if something changes, and us still vote on it at our next meeting.
And then have it approved by the
Right, because
board
we would
meeting.
still be able to vote on it in March, and our boards could still vote on it in April. So if you wanted it voted on in April, we could still do that, and we still wouldn't have to delay any of the presentations, but I would feel more comfortable giving the public time to digest it until next month, and us time to go through it afterwards before we vote on it.
What does that do with the motion that's on? You can.
Table.
Oh, I will make a motion to table it if you want.
That's the parliamentary answer, she's making a motion to table.
I just brought it up because we were at, it involved the discussions you were having about the timeline.
So you just want to table the preliminary budget? Is what you're proposing?
For 1 month,
That's what she will.
because I don't want to vote on it the same
Can we
night as
move
proposed.
ahead with the architect?
That's a separate issue.
That's, yeah, that's it, yes.
Separate
please.
motion later
Still
on.
doing that.
Yeah. Is that, I mean.
You would need a second.
You would need a second.
Well, I'm not
Can we-
making the motion now, we're not even there yet, I was.
Can we
just
finish the
giving you
presentation first?
Good idea.
I know, I'm radical.
Yes.
Very big.
It's 9:30.
Where are we?
We're at the.
Wrap it up, guys.
For the $800,000, so you can get to the next slide. And then this is, as we're talking to the business administrators, everybody was really concerned to make sure that not only you guys as the JFC know what's going on, but your boards back at your home schools also aware of the financial situation and needs of the tech school going forward. So this is not, like I'm saying, see the 1.6 million on the roof, this is just, we tried to get numbers together so that way you guys knew what was coming. It hasn't been looked at, people are still, I mean, we looked at it internally, but we haven't put it out professionally to get, true dollar amounts or, how do you want to say that?
Just wanted, the business managers wanted us to put a 5-year capital projects plan together to give the business managers an opportunity to look at the future of what's coming down. So, we put, these are very rough preliminary, it's just a rough estimate. Had an architect come in, give us, at today's rate, $15 per square for a roof. So we just measured the roof, and that's how we came up with with those figures. And it's just something that they wanted us to present, so the sending districts realize that we do have projects coming down the line. It may not happen, 21, 22, we may not have to put a roof on until 22, 23, but they wanted something down there, and until we bring a roofer in and give us a solid when we can replace these, then we're gonna, move it forward. They also stated that if you do them all at one time, it might be cheaper than breaking them down in the next 4 years like we have broken down there. So they're throwing all types of scenarios to us, and we just wanted to put something, we wanted to put it down because we know that our roofs, are gonna be in, bad shape from the past supervisor of building and grounds. That was the first concerns that he was throwing in my ear when I walked on.
We want to fix them before there's a problem.
Correct. So, these are just, it's all preliminary. This is all preliminary. It doesn't affect this year's budget.
For the roof stuff, though, I'd love to see some solar shingles or
Yeah,
maybe
I'd love
some
to see that too, because
roofing panels, maybe help us
got our electric down.
adjust off, not just the electric, but adjust off some of the costs of the roof replacement. Even if it is a contract of some sorts of 10 to 15 years, to help offset the roof, which is a lot of surface area.
Yeah.
So, kind of food for thought there. Maybe even it could get into the making our own energy, which is always positive.
I think we had, didn't we, what was his name from your board?
Yeah.
He came in here and gave a whole solar presentation and the whole 9 yards, and it was, my understanding was, and I wasn't on the board yet then, but I was here for the presentation, and I think it ended up being really not cost effective.
It was also 10 years ago, though, I will say.
Which I think,
8 years
but I
ago or
think it
something.
was, I think that solar was more affordable at that point with the grants and
With the
stuff.
grants and stuff,
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then we're coming down to our food service. We had some questions earlier, and here are the answers.
So that's basically the revenue for your food service, through the sales. Actually, I just got a report from Dina, their who is the overseer for Pennridge. They had an increase so far of about 175 lunches a month compared to the prior year. So, kudos to the cafeteria ladies for that. We do some catering, outside catering, and she generates about $20,000 worth of revenue for that. And then there's your federal subsidy and retirement reimbursement, social security reimbursements. So that's for that. And then expenses, that will be salaries, benefits, food service, you have your management, tax tenders, contracts, and the procurement. That's in January, you signed a contract for that, for procurement services. The food supplies, appreciation, so that's usually, after depreciation is about a $25,000.
None of these materials end up getting used for the culinary until everything is completely separated?
Yes.
So the classroom, yes, so your culinary is based in your general fund,
Yeah.
Fund 10, and that's accounted for there. And then your food service is its own fund, and those expenditures are accounted for there. And then,
The debt that we're accruing on the food service. Again, Quakertown students don't go here. We're sharing in the arbitration and loss. I'm just saying.
I would be happy to agree.
We got plenty of our own
to
lunch
push
debt.
that part out of this budget and have that itemized separately. If you agree to change the other formula for capital projects, that is completely bogus. And based on.
Moving on.
any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.
Sure, thank you.
You actually don't have a motion on this.
So many.
You don't have a motion.
Predicted you would do exactly what you say, exactly what you said from that. I would predicted that you were gonna do it. They can call me out.
What do you mean?
You're
I
wrong.
sent
Yeah,
you,
yeah, but you're fine.
I sent you an email today saying
I
that
didn't-
I
Sorry, I was in work.
likely do that.
Moving on, ladies and gentlemen. Facilities Committee report, please. You want to give a Facilities Committee report for the sake of the general audience real quick, like you did for us in our small committee meeting real quick? Maybe keep it to like a minute. You're going to report on the lights and the,
On the lights?
the light, update on the LED lights, and then the other thing that you, custodial services.
The lights, we got our LED lights in, and we're in the process of putting them in.
Okay.
I got my rating from Pico. Once we get them all in, we're gonna save an estimated $4,200 a year in our electric bill. We got our new parking lot LED heads in. We're gonna be putting them up with a rented bucket truck.
Okay.
The cleaning service, we're still in the middle of investigating our options on that.
Okay, perfect. You feel good?
I feel good.
I feel good. Thank you.
Good.
Finance Committee report. Moving on to the Policy Committee report. Will somebody please report on that so I do not have to?
We reviewed as policies 000, 001, 002, 3, 5, and 11. There was one recommendation that just a name change that came from PSBA to change the Occupational Advisory Committee to more reflect the name that we use, which is a General Advisory Committee. Our goal is to bring this, post it to board docs next month, the first reading, and then a second reading, and then approval. The next topic that we discussed was the Adult Ed Policy 125. We are exploring, working with Mr. Khan about the language of keeping students that are in existing programs. Mr. Kirkalone was
Currently enrolled as high school students.
high school students, the feasibility.
We will be, policies will be on for first read next month. For the first read,
Yes.
so we still have plenty of time for people to look at it and ask questions, make comments.
And they are all attached? Word out?
Yes.
What are we talking about in the program committee? Adult ed. It's it. Adult evening. We didn't have it? That's right, I canceled it. Okay. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. January meeting minutes. Motion for approval.
Second.
Discussion? Any discussion on the minutes? All approved? All opposed? Motion, January minutes passed unanimously. January financial reports, motion, actually, sorry, I did this improperly, and I apologize to everybody. The consent calendar, I think I should go through, I'm just gonna go through, I'm gonna complete by just going through one by one. So the January financial reports, motion to approve 7B for discussion.
So moved.
Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the financial reports from January? Motion to approve?
Aye.
All opposed? February bills payable. Motion to approve discussion on the February bills list.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? Motion to approve the bills to be paid.
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we're going to discuss some personnel recommendations. Motion to approve line item personnel recommendations.
So moved. Oops, second.
And we're gonna have a little discussion here real quick. Standard stuff, in this recommendation, a substitute teacher that we're gonna hire, an adult evening school instructor that we're gonna be bringing on. And then there's also added to this agenda, I think it was yesterday, or today, was the resignation of Mr. Chris Asante. Asante? Is it Asante? Asante. He wrote the JOC a letter of recommendation, and I am going to go ahead and read this letter, a letter of resignation. I regret to inform you that I'm resigning as the mechatronics instructor at Upper Bucks Technical School. Please accept this letter as my notice of resignation effective February 19th, 2020. I intend to complete the current school year with May 14th, 2020 being my final day of employment. Thank you for the opportunity to work for such an outstanding organization. This was not an easy decision. I am sincerely grateful for the employment I have had with Upper Bucks County Technical School, the staff I have worked alongside with the last 3 years, and they have been exceptional. They are passionate about making Upper Bucks County Technical School an enriching environment for students. Mr. Sweden and his administration are an outstanding group of individuals to teach under. He is making continuous strides in improving the quality of the school. Upper Bucks County Technical School will only flourish under his vision. It has been a privilege to work for Jeff during his tenure as executive director. The students from Palisades, Pennridge, and Quakertown communities have made it an absolute pleasure to come to work here every day. I made this decision not because I am unhappy with the opportunities the school has presented, but as a strategic career move. It has been a great pleasure teaching at Upper Bucks County Technical School. Please know that I will be available as needed to help ensure as smooth as a transition as possible for the students. Being a member of the community, I will always be available to support this school. Thank you very much for the opportunity to teach here. I wish this school continued success. It was a pleasure developing this program at Upper Bucks County Technical School. Sincerely, Christopher Pasante. And the reason I wanted to make sure that I read this letter out loud and not just make sure everybody had a chance to see it is because since Chris has joined us, he's been almost single-handedly responsible for the construction, the setup of the mechatronics program that we have, in addition to some of the clubs that I think we have. Isn't he the machine, the robotics?
National Robotics League.
What was that?
National Robotics League.
National Robotics League. Is he like a coach? What is his official designation?
I guess it'd be coach, yeah.
Coach, yeah. He has been fantastic. I actually took a class here. Once I started on the JFC, I thought it would be great. I took a class, and I actually took one of his classes at night school. And he was an absolutely fantastic instructor. I think we're all going to sincerely miss him, and I think he leaves some really awesome shoes to fill. And I think it's going to be a big, what's that? Yeah, a tall task to replace him. I think it's going to be very difficult. I wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors, and I want to thank him for giving us as much advance notice as possible in this day and age. I don't think we can take that for granted. So thank you, Chris, and wish him my best, our best, I think.
And he won the robotics competition. He won the robotics competition with the Swiss cheese robot, which was neat to see. Although it didn't end up, the point, it was called Swiss cheese because they expected it to be holy by the end, but they were the ones pummeling everyone else, so it didn't end up being holy. So it didn't fulfill its name, but at least it still won. So I would like to protest this in a vote because I don't want him to leave, but I won't.
We do not accept your letters or.
No, I'm sorry.
You cannot leave. But we also can't pay him more. So that within itself is also a problem that, maybe it is a problem that we can't keep a really amazing teacher who's doing really great things because contractually we have our hands tied. Motion to approve number 8A.
Jim was asking a question about the calendar. It's consistent with the sending districts.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just want to make sure. Just wanted to put that. Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Coming up to number 9 here on the agenda.
I'll make a motion to table the proposed budget for the 2020-2021.
Can I approve the discussion on it so that you can approve the motion to table it? I think that would probably be.
Well, I make a motion, someone else can second my motion, and then we can have discussion.
Well, I think when you have a motion table.
You can't discuss it. Believe it or not, it's a weird rule. In Robert's rules, there's no discussion on the motion to table. It doesn't actually matter if she wants to jump in now and
Sure.
move to table 9.
Is there anybody want a second?
I'll second.
Can we vote on it?
Yeah, we just call it a.
All right, so we're going to vote on tabling.
Do we have a
this issue
date
for
or are we
another
just
month?
tabling it in perpetuity?
Till next month, I think is the plan.
I'm just talking about Robert's rules, another one of those quirky things.
Ultimately, if we approve a preliminary budget or table it, there's no, it's the same ending. So, whatever. So motion, I think we're going to do a roll call just to kind of make sure that we do this properly and everybody is on the record. Can we start down here? Motion to table preliminary budget.
Nay.
So you want to pass it?
That's correct.
Yes.
Motion to table. Katie, yes. Chris, motion to table the preliminary budget till next month.
I only had a question on how this would affect anything, nothing.
If it's another month.
No. You're still going to present it. You're still going to present it.
As it really is. And yes, I will vote yes.
Yeah. Nay. No.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, boom. Well, you vote? I voted no. You voted yes, so he's.
5-4, done.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, move on.
It was equal or on the side of caution. We'll table it.
1, 2, 3.
It's 5-4.
5.
5-4, which way?
Hey, 5-4, which way?
Table.
Okay, thank you.
And we are moving on. We're going to discuss number 10, the renovation project, revised. Motion to approve discussion on subject number 10, renovation project.
Second.
All right.
There's two motions in there. A is the actual $800,000 allocation. And then B is the going out to bid. So 10A and 10B.
All right, so motion 10A, a motion to approve the approximate $800,000 capital project for the Animal and Veterinary Science and Agricultural Technology and Life Science Academy building. As per the Articles of Agreement, and B, shall be borne by the school districts in a proportionate share according to the most current state tax equalization board market value data. Funds may be transferred from the general fund to help offset the costs. So that is the actual language, and so a motion to approve that?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this project itself was already approved last year. I think the point of this motion here is that the previous motion did not actually include the formula by reference, so this is just out of the, for the sake of transparency, that everybody knows.
How it's being funded, we can all agree, right? So,
So moved.
Second.
Whatever. Pick anything you want.
all in favor for 10A?
Yes.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Motion 10B, agenda 10B, motion for the JOC to authorize the administration to complete construction documents and put the project to renovate the agricultural science facilities out to bid in accordance with the proposal from Godshaw, Kano, Lork, dated December 12th, 2019.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Is that going to affect Ms. Megan's request for us to look
No,
at the?
as I said, you would have, where it would get weird is if it is not only visa eligible, but there were the timing, you know, you could do it this year, then it would get strange, because I don't know how we balance the two actions simultaneously. But if it's not visa eligible, obviously it won't matter. If
I
it
like
is
to check
visa-
the box.
Right.
Due diligence.
Absolutely, and if it is visa eligible, but you'd have to do it next year, then you'll simply reject the bids or stop the award process, so it doesn't matter.
And we would only do it if it's
We would find out all
substantially.
that information up front, so it wouldn't be.
We'd have to find that information out there. So in fact,
We
I'll
could
get
find
your,
it out tomorrow.
I'll get your Reynolds contact before I leave.
You might even be able to call tonight.
I hope.
Were they in California?
It's gotta be tomorrow soon.
Just kidding.
Moving on to number 11, so that we can
I
get
just
out of here
meant
this
to get
evening.
out of here so we're-
Motion to approve. Motion to approve. Motion to approve a discussion on students and advisors, adults to attend Skills USA, PA State Leadership and Skills Championship in Hershey, PA, April 15th through the 17th, 2020. Total expenses to Upper Bucks County Technical School not to exceed $20,000. Motion,
So moved.
discussion.
Second.
Robert, all right, any discussion on this?
Good luck.
Motion to approve, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Passes unanimously. Motion to approve George Dietrich to attend the Case APE Animal and Plant Biotech, sponsored by Noble Research Institute and Oklahoma State University in Ardmore, Oklahoma, from July 6th through the 16th of 2020. Cost of the trip as follows: flight $500, miscellaneous transportation $54, meal reimbursement $116, registration, housing, training materials $3,000, scholarship from Penn State Ag, looks like to be about $1,500, which I guess will offset from the total cost. Yeah, okay. So total for the tech school, the expenses not to exceed about $2,200, $2,169 and change. Motion to approve. Discussion?
Second.
Any discussion?
Why do you want to go to Oklahoma in July during Christmas?
The answer to that is real easy. It's the only time it's actually offered this year. And it's the only location it's offered in this year.
It would be pretty cool to see a tornado too.
When living in Nebraska, there were a couple of times where we had I'll be fine.
I lived in Nebraska too. Oklahoma in July, good luck. Better you than me.
All in favor of Mr. Dietrich's out-of-state travel and training?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. We have some language here on a revised HOSA state conference, and so I'm kind of going to read through this. Sorry, everyone. Motion to approve the revised student participation in the HOSA state conference at Valley Forge Convention Center, which is the Radisson Hotel in King of Prussia, April 1st through 3rd of 2020. As follows is recommended. HOSA dental careers paid by HOSA student activity account. Meals at $410 per person, with a total cost of $2,054 paid by Upper Bucks County Technical School. 5 student registrations at $100 equals $500. 1 teacher registration plus hotel room at $543. 3 substitute days at $110 per day. $330 nurse registration, $100 for the nurse lodging and meals, $434 for the nurse's salary, $720 for transportation, which will include the school van and fuel costs, $100. Total cost, Upper Bucks County Technical School, if you understood anything I said, in the amount of $2,727, and the maximum cost of the trip is going to be $4,781.
Second. So I just, is it possible to make the motion revise HOSA state conference so David doesn't have to read a whole dissertation for every motion? Can we write the motion and put the description under it so he doesn't have to keep, I'm exhausted listening to you have to say it all every time.
Yeah, I would think given the JOC's past history, it could be a revised motion just with the total cost. I would include the total not to exceed cost in the motion language and then the description of it.
So we don't want to hear Dave talk as much.
So moved.
With that recommendation, does anybody else have anything to say before we vote?
Cost $27.27, but the cost of trip is forced out $1, so there's a $2,000 difference.
Maximum for student activity fund.
Okay, because I didn't see.
And the reason why it's revised, we have a male student that will be joining the competition.
So he's going to get his own room.
So he has to get his own room.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Number 13 passed unanimously. All right, at this time, we are approaching the end of our agenda. I will accept any recognition and comments from the audience.
I'm so sorry.
Go ahead.
Hi, I just want to give a quick blurb for Mrs. Danka, who wasn't able to be here tonight due to no childcare. She just wants me to remind everybody about the strawberry sale. A full flat is 8 quarts of berries and $24 is the cost. A half a flat is 4 quarts of berries and $14 is the cost. Individual quarts are $4 each. And the orders have to be in by, do you know?
Tomorrow.
No, tomorrow. But I was supposed to give one last plea, so I told her I would say that.
It's on the website, and you can order directly, it's on there.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Anything else?
Robert Linden, Pennridge. 2 comments. Thank you to the school for allowing me to accompany the students on the trip to Martins Creek Power Plant. It was very interesting. They got to tour the boiler, go all the way to the top, look down, and see the generation plant and the control room. They were very interested in the control room. They had a lot of instruments and blinking lights, you know. But they were most interested in the $44 an hour offer they had for starting wage. A second comment I have is I met a gentleman while at a restaurant, and we got to talking, and he mentioned that he was a carpenter. And I thought that was interesting, and I asked if he had gone to trade school, and he said, let me tell you, since I was 8 years old, I knew I wanted to be a carpenter. When I went to trade school, they told me there was no more room in the carpentry class. I had to take appliance repair. He eventually quit the school and learned to be a carpenter. He's still a carpenter. He was 70 years old. He's making $100,000 a year. And he's lead man, or whatever the title is. And I just wondered, do we have that problem here of where we can't make room for one more student?
Not historical.
I mean, we have programs that are full, and like if you take one, then you gotta take the next one. So like, you know, we have maxed out classes, but generally because there's a large waiting list, probably not because there's one person waiting.
Well, I just wanted to relate that story to you. I thought it was a shame that he had to quit tech school, but he did accomplish everything on his own. Maybe he would have done better if he had gone to tech school, I don't know.
I love to think that hopefully we're in a better position than we were 50 years ago when he had gone through that.
Yeah.
And so hopefully, you know, we have a great program here, and there's a lot of room in some of our programs. Hopefully there's a fit for some of those kids. Students.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Any other open comment?
You want some more? I'd be glad to give you.
The next JOC meeting is scheduled for March 19th, 2020 at 8 p.m. here in the office. We're going to do here in this room. We will be continuing to do subcommittee meetings from 5:30 on in case you want to come to one of those subcommittee meetings, and then the JOC meeting will start at 8 o'clock again.
Can I just bring something up on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Since the one committee, the policy committee, is a committee of the whole,
Yes, sir.
would it make more sense to make that right before the JOC, so that if you have programs and you don't have fiscal or whatever, you don't have to come 5:30, and tonight it didn't happen that way because things just ran into each other anyway.
Yeah.
But I think it might be better to do the committee of the whole, the policy one, right before. Right, just.
Yeah, no, in case you don't have to come to facilities.
Well, again, you're gonna have to come to one of them, but maybe you don't have to come at 5:30, you can come all the way at 6.
All the way at 6. Do the best. No problem. Do the
So
best
who wants
you
to go
can.
first?
But I think that one of the agreements that we came up with was depending on the size of the agendas for the various subcommittees.
Right.
The larger the agenda, the earlier we were gonna punch them in so that there was more time.
I get it, it makes sense to
No,
we have everybody here,
Make perfect sense what you're
it's
saying.
right before, we have to have everybody here.
Anybody on the JSC have any concerns that they'd like to discuss at this time? Oh, yes, hold on, before you guys. We're gonna have another executive session after this meeting, and we are? No? We already did it. It says it on here. You already announced it?
If needed.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to relay that, I was at the Skills USA competition. It was really neat to see everything that everybody could do. I think now I might be able to build a brick wall, which I had no idea. How I'm watching it, and I'm like, I had no idea. You leave like the gap in the middle. You know, I learned a lot just from watching all of the different, all the different competitions that our kids were doing. So it was really, really neat to see, and just how mature a lot of these kids are. It's just really neat. One thing though I kind of want to follow up on, we had the culinary kids there, and there was, we took Vincenzo, who was here, our student of the month last month, took second place. But some of that I think is attributed to the fact that when he went in to make his recipe, they didn't have many of his ingredients that he was planning on using, and he didn't know going into it. So I don't know if it's set up in a way that, hey, you have to make do with what we have, or if it's something where kids can submit their ingredient list ahead of time so that they know they have it, or they can tell us what the ingredients are ahead of time. I don't know what like, I don't know if this is something like you're supposed to make do with what you have, then that makes sense, and we just need to let our kids know that so they have a plan A, B, and C. But if it's a situation where, you know, they can submit ingredients, because there were some really basic ingredients that you would expect that weren't there, and so to try to make do, and then there were only 3 lemons, for all the kids that were there, all of those kids, there were 3 lemons, so I don't think our kids knew, hey, if you want certain ingredients, you better run and grab it before other people do, because I don't think that people knew that there would be a short amount of ingredients. So I would just be interested to find out, is that, is it something that we can make sure they have ingredients, or do we just prepare our kids to know, hey, have a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C, and run when you get there, right? So that they know that going into it. But really neat, and all of the different food dishes that they made too. It was like looking at, you know, the chopped on TV, and so.
So nobody made lemonade because there was only 3 lemons? Oh, sorry, my bad. It just wasn't sweet enough.
Ms. Clemens, can I just piggyback off that?
Yeah.
Mr. Miller's class helped participate in that. So on the newsletter, they crafted a traditional, excuse the pronunciation, margarella, which is a 36-inch rolling pin that rolls the pasta in Italy. So again, there's another example of cross-curricular. So in that particular case, our carpentry program built that.
Oh, that's neat.
And that's pretty neat.
And I hear that at his restaurant, he was practicing at his family's restaurant, so they were giving everyone free pasta when they were coming in, so a lot of them got to try his product as he was practicing there. And I did get to go and check out his family restaurant, which is amazing. So it's on it's off of Sumney Town Pike.
Dolce Vita.
By Nina's.
Yeah.
Dolce
by-
Vita by Nina.
Yeah, it's right on Route 63, right just above the Kaufman House. Before I forget what the church is, it's a Lutheran church that sits back off of the road a little bit, but it's Dolce Vita.
I can email everyone the address if everybody wants it.
Sounds like a plug.
We have to try it out now.
I can answer Megan's
question
about the skills and study competition, at least partially. Every student is given, or the teacher's given, a equipment list, and there are a few competitions like baking, where you have to take some icing, some materials. Pretty much for culinary, it's just their tools, their pots, their pans, their knives, their cutting boards, things like that. And when they get there, every school gets the same thing. So if they gave an ingredients list of what you had to choose from, every school got it or no school got it. So I'm not sure, I can find out if they knew what their ingredients were ahead of time or how it was gonna work ahead of time.
Because I know that many of them didn't get lemons because there were only 3, so a couple people grabbed those.
Right, that's something, I'll definitely take that back to them and address it, because we have a monthly meeting of the advisors. Right now, Bill Young is taking over. I go till January, then Bill Young takes on over that, after that. But I can give a call and find out about that, and I'll get back to you on it.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
What I heard from Chef McGinnis was that some of the produce wasn't good and that had spoiled, and so then he didn't want to use it. And so he's trying to arrange a connection, so he has a produce person who may offer to volunteer produce next year, so we know that it's all fresh.
Interesting.
So there was a problem with that.
So that's helpful. I know some of the things they didn't have were like wine and seasonings and stuff like that too, so I don't know those kinds of things if they can know ahead of time or not.
I know previously that, they don't let anybody bring whatever they want. I know that they only have certain things, but I don't know if they tell the kids ahead of time.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I am going to make one more announcement before I dismiss everybody, and I forgot earlier. The Upper Bucks County Technical School was featured in a national publication, the ACTE Techniques magazine, as a featured article under data and program improvement. This article is Perkins 5 and Continuous Improvement. The article is here if you want to read it. It was written by Mr. Herrera. Mike, good job. And Todd Luke, I don't know who that is. That person doesn't work here, I presume. No. So here is the article, if you wanted to read it. I will leave it right here at my desk for you all to take a look at it. Thank you very much for all your hard work. We really appreciate it. And congratulations on having your article publish.
Pleasure. A lot has to do with our staff too. It was great getting their picture in there too, which we're very proud of.
And if that concludes everything, motion to adjourn.
Second. Oh, Ms. Silver.
Any opposed? Have a safe drive, everybody. Thank you all so much. See you next month.